Today on the eveRide Chan, Gabe helps me correct some huge riding mistakes and bad habits, then we'll put these techniques to the test in the canyons of Moab.
Oh, rallying!
So if you are a follower of the Chan, you know that I've been largely off the bikes for 7 months with a gruesome surgery on what I called the bumtato. Recovery meant long periods in bed and virtually no exercise, and as a result, I've had far less stamina, I deal with a lot of pain when I ride now, and my riding skills, even though they've never been that stellar, have devolved into a complete mess.
Oh, stall! I stalled!
But could this actually be a good thing for me? I've been riding for only about 6 years, the first in my family to ever ride a motorcycle off-road. So I never had any coaching and pretty much had to figure things out for myself. That means that for 6 years I taught myself really bad habits and poor techniques that have slowed me down, given me less control of the motorcycle, increased fatigue, made me sore after rides, and even some that are downright unsafe.
So over the course of the injury and the surgery and the recovery, I welcomed the idea of completely rebooting my mind and my body to unlearn bad riding habits and start fresh with correct technique. But who would teach me? Meet Gabe. He just celebrated his 1-year anniversary as a married man. He's an Army veteran, a college graduate, a solid mechanic, and he thrashes trails like ShamWow guy thrashes.
What? I was gonna say soda spills. Like out of carpet. Anyway, Gabe can ride. He rides motocross, he rides trails, he rides distance, he rides ludicrous speed! So before heading to Moab, Gabe and I met up here in St. George so that I could relearn how to ride a motorcycle the correct way. If you want to see that entire training session on the Raw channel, go ahead and click the card in the upper right corner, or there will be a link at the end of this video or in the description. Now keep in mind, I had heard all of these tips before, and you've probably heard them too. And like me, you just never incorporated them into your riding because it's more comfortable doing it the way you're used to. Or like me, you're lazy and you really like pie. Well, I can tell you right now that even after 7 months of atrophy off the bike, I was faster, smoother, had more control and less fatigue after applying these basics than I felt like I had at my fastest before the surgery. And that's worth saying something. So these tips are absolutely worth implementing, even if it takes a day or two of awkward riding to replace your bad habits with good ones.
So we will be talking all about stance. Many guys in the ADV world think that standing up on a bike means prairie dogging it. Straight up, shoulders back, knees locked, proudly looking for predators over the plains of the Serengeti. While this is a nice position to take in the scenery, see over obstacles, or to take a break from sitting or really aggressive riding, it's miserable for technical riding.
The athletic stance means that your knees and waist are bent, ready to soak up forces on the body from any direction, and ready to force the weight of the motorcycle and the body in any direction as well. This is perfect for riding off-road. Your entire body acts as additional suspension to soak up and manage bumps and obstacles, while at the same time having the muscles ready to force parts of the motorcycle into the ground to find more traction, to weight your pegs, which we'll talk about in another video, or to de-weight the entire bike. Imagine the stance of a wrestler, or a linebacker, or a volleyball player. So let's do a quick exercise for all the guys like the pre-surgery me who believed that they could control the motorcycle just as well when they're prairie dogging or sitting. All right, so if you're sitting down right now, stay sitting and put your arms forward like you're gripping the handlebars. Weight off your feet and mostly on your butt, but from that position, get ready. Now jump as high as you can. All right, now another exercise. Go ahead and stand up right now. Seriously, stand up. Now put your shoulders back, knees locked, straight, feet flat, and without changing this position, jump. Now, get in a good, sturdy, ready to rock athletic stance. Knees and waist slightly bent, feet about shoulder width apart, weight on the balls of your feet, shoulders a little forward. Now jump.
So you'll notice that it's impossible to jump from both sitting or prairie dogging without first briefly getting your body into that athletic position.
So a major help to me was to get used to getting into and staying in this athletic position. It feels a little bit awkward at first, like you're gonna fly over the bars, but I noticed a massive difference after climbing a few hills and getting my weight over the front of the bike. If you're climbing hills or riding at all and feeling arm pump, or like the bars are pulling on your arms and you're holding on for dear life, lean forward over the bike more. Get more aggressive in your athletic stance.
A huge error that I was making was to have the balls of my feet on the pegs, but then get lazy and droop my heel off the back of the peg, or I would place my feet on the pegs right over my arches so I could access the shifter and rear brake quicker. This meant that I was flat-footed on the pegs and losing all of the suspension and control that my calf muscles could have provided.
So all that control was being handled by my upper legs or my back, which made me sore and tired.
In addition, since my toes were closer to my foot controls, I'd actually angle them out away from the bike so I wouldn't drag on the brake or accidentally downshift. This is a really bad idea. If you've ever bounced your toe off a rock or a cactus, you'll never want to ride with your toes out like this again. What you want to do is keep the balls of your feet on the pegs. Not quite to your toes, not quite in your arches, but right in the middle.
But there are two more critical elements to standing while riding that I had neglected, and both have really reduced fatigue and increased control. The first is to press your knees into the tank.
Think about it this way: if your only points of contact on the motorcycle are the grips at the top of the bike and the pegs at the bottom of the bike, then you lose the ability to manipulate the center and oftentimes the most top-heavy part of the bike, the gas tank. When you have a minute and feel comfortable, try another exercise while riding your motorcycle. Find a mellow paved hill and stand up while coasting down it. Then slowly let go of the bars. It feels pretty sketchy, but grip the tank with your knees while standing, then let go of the bars. It's way, way easier. In fact, in no time, you can probably control the bike pretty well that way.
So if gripping the tank with your knees offers more control, why don't we do that while tackling difficult hill climbs or a descent or riding through rocky terrain? It just makes sense.
And the final tip made an enormous difference and requires yet another demonstrative exercise.
Get down like you're going to do a push-up. Seriously, go right ahead. Now put your elbows to your sides and your hands up by your shoulders and do a push-up. It's not that easy, but now put your elbows out to your sides and widen your hands a bit and do a normal push-up. It's much, much easier. Well, the same goes for the grips of your motorcycle. For 6 years, I'd been wearing myself out doing T-Rex style push-ups while trying to manipulate my handlebars. Getting the shoulders out and the elbows up gives you far more power over the bars, and like all the other muscle groups we're now using, will reduce fatigue because that job of moving the bars isn't transferred to another part of the body. I mean, just take a look at some of the best dirt riders in the world. Ryan Villapoto, Graham Jarvis. Do a Google image search of any dirt riding champion and look at their elbows and shoulders while they ride. Ryan Dungey can't even wave without having his other elbow up. That's how ingrained it is for him.
So, for my first rides getting back on the bike, Gabe suggested that I really exaggerate these positions by sticking my butt out like Beyonce, getting the balls of my feet on the pegs with a pretty drastic bend, elbows up as far as I could get them, and my knees gripping the tank like Suzanne Summers on a Thighmaster infomercial.
And yes, at first it feels really, really awkward, but after a while the benefits spoke for themselves, because we put them to the real test in Moab, Utah.
So Cane Creek, this epic trail, was pretty intense for a guy who hadn't ridden much in 7 months. However, with the tips, I was confident. I never crashed. I was keeping up with the fastest guys in the group. What's more amazing was that after we finished the trail and most of the guys opted to go back via the paved road, a few of us went back to do the trail in reverse. So even though I was out of shape, my clutch hand was barely functional, and my surgery site hurt pretty bad, I was good to go because these riding tips conserved a lot of energy, and it was a similar story for the rest of the trip.
So thank you so much for watching, and hopefully these basic tips help you to get more out of riding off-road. If you enjoyed the video and would like to see more, hit that subscribe button And to see the full raw video of Gabe coaching me in real time, or to see my most recent adventure in Moab, check out the videos to the right. Much love, ladies and gentle tubers. eveRide out.